G'day there guys, welcome back to my shed. I'm BC. I haven't gone to ground, just been bloody busy, and amazing, you retire, you're supposed to have some time to yourself, and that just doesn't happen to be the case. I've got lots on still with the cylindrical grinder repair, and I'm progressing a little bit with the riding car for the club loco, so I'll give you a bit of a look around that. The cylindrical grinder, I really want to get together, get some floor space back. It's spread out like a dog's breakfast around this place, making one hell of a mess. But I have got a few pieces ready to load back up, and hopefully just a bit of painting and I can assemble the workhead again. Oh sorry, a bit of cleaning first and then assemble the workhead. But I'll show you what I have been doing just quickly, and I think you'll appreciate the time that I spent away from the camera. Okay, back soon. Okay, here ready for paint. We have the inner pulley guard off the workhead. That's been buffed back. That's the base for the workhead and the innards that won't be painted. I think that's a splash guard for the coolant and the rear cover for the internal attachment. So I have a little bit of a painting spree. I don't know I'll have time after this little spiel today. The paint has to be removed where possible. As you can see here, it's got a horrible body filler under it, and why they bother with a body filler on machine parts I do not know. I'll show you a few bits that I have finished so far. Okay, down here we have the tailstock. That's the item that spent many hours on just trying to fit one bloody spring. It's about the limit of what I can lift now, so I can worry that around to the table probably later today or tomorrow if I get a chance, and mount it up, and that'll give me a bit of bench space to paint a bit more on. One of the first jobs will be tidying up this particular dead centre. It's seen to have a lot of wheel damage, and I don't know how true it will run. But yep, that's one part ready to rock and roll. Okay, this is one of the grinding wheel dressers. There is one as part of the tailstock. It just pops out the side of the tailstock and is, I think, the one that was most often used. This would be for coarse dressing, I would assume. And it's a sturdy unit, believe you me. It'll do quite a good job. So that's ready to rock and roll up onto the table. And sitting here is the internal attachment. That's the main bearing housing, and has the short high-speed spindle mounted inside it. The others I haven't had a chance to get to yet, but I think it's ready to start to do a bit of work when it's required. And outside is where I've been doing most of the fettling, with a small angle grinder and wire wheel to get all that crappy body filler off and the old paint that's peeling to pieces. That's the intermediate pulley bearing assembly. There's a 3-step pulley set up on the workhead to bring it down to, I think, between 20 and 60 RPM. I'll show you all of that as it goes together. That was pretty awful. It had been put back into a working state by the fella that I got the grinder off, but the paintwork etc. didn't look good, and I needed to give it all a clean. Okay, there we have a tray with some pulleys and one of the sliding plates for the belt adjuster. They've all been cleaned down, but the sliding base plate needs a lick of paint, as O'Reilly would say. And that at the moment is the main job at hand. I've been putting a sling around both ends of the shaft and lick it up like a body of meat at the butcher's, and that allows me to get inside and scrape and get all the yuck off. I still have to do the underneath where it bolts up to the rotating base you saw on top of the parts cleaner, but quite a sturdy machine. I can see why these don't chatter, and I can see why they weigh almost 2 tonne. The frame that's in the middle of this tray slides in here, and the other bearing setup sits on top, so it's 2 steps pulleys over that side and 1 step here. And inside the head assembly is some sort of torque converter, so you can run it as a dead center machine, or you can disconnect the dead center. And are you in frame? Yes, you can disconnect the dead center lock over here and engage a pin in through the faceplate, and that gets the centre shaft rotating with these pulleys. Now that centre shaft also has a thread in the end where you can screw in a 3-jaw chuck, and worse luck I don't have the 3-jaw chuck, so I've got to make a adapter for what I do have. And what I think I'll be using is a brand new 3-jaw chuck and faceplate that goes with my big dividing head that so far I haven't used. So that'll be another project in the future. It'll be interesting for me because I have to make a very, very accurate internal thread and the shoulder. So I'll be making up a test piece and then making the thread to fit well. I wish myself the best of luck with that job. And stacked away here on top of my loco build stand is the riding car to go behind the new club loco. We had a change in heart about the couple of pockets, and I've made one longer pocket and a short pocket for the back end, or the other way around. That'll be welded up and then shown after it's machined back. Quite a sturdy frame, 2 pieces of 50 by 25 RHS, and that's the rear buffer beam down the back. So overall, put some time in with Steve drilling his boiler plate a few days ago. We have been quite busy in the shed. Okay, I'll bring you back when something else has a lick of paint or a bit more work to do. Bye for now. Hello everybody, welcome back again. I'm BC. A little bit of progress has been had, and I didn't make any videos of a lot of it because I'm struggling lifting up the wheel head, or the work head rather, and this is about the limit of what I can lift the tailstock. But I have got quite a lot of the peripheral items up and loaded. Tailstock is operational, the track mechanism's working, the lock mechanism, whoop, it works. I've also fitted the 2 end plates of the table, this one being with the degree scale and the other just being a straight clamping plate. That's working. Got the hydraulic table reversing dogs fitted, and tomorrow or the day after, depending on what the officer in charge says, I'll be mounting the spindle plate assembly back into the work head and put the T-bolts up. Hopefully if I can get it clean, I'll get it mounted up there, but if I can't, it'll be another day or so. But we're gradually getting there. Still a substantial amount to go after this. The wheel head is still a filthy pig. Luckily it's on top of a big trough, so I can just spray it all down with citrus spray and hose it into the trough and out the back and collect it. But I've also got all the sheet metal work, the splash guards to go. But at least as it is, I've got probably 3/4 of the splash guard, so I can get it up and running and, you know, at least check it out, see how it runs. I'm quite happy with how it is, and I've also gained about 1/4 of my bench space back with all of this crap that was lying everywhere. Anyway, I'll bring you back when something else happens. Maybe it'll be local train to you, don't know. Okay, bye for now. Well guys, back again. Bit of a triumphant moment. Blow the horns and beat the drums. The bloody work gets back up on the table. Man, this has been one effort with a shitty little engine crane with short legs. The pucker factor has been extreme. But it's up there. I haven't reassembled it prior to putting it up there because it's just going to be so much easier to do it in place. I still have final cleaning to do, and I can swing it around 90 degrees to get it the other side and the stuff it full of rags underneath. The table was well wiped down and cleaned before the job was finished, and so glad to be here. About 3 hours faster than I thought it would be, but then that was 3 hours of sook time, I suppose. All the basic slides have been cleaned. There's just a gauge strip and cover plate to put on now. This big heap of sliding junk there gets turned around and put back in, and there's cover plate on here, cover plate on the back, and pulleys and belts, etc. But for that job I'll be able to set up some decent lighting, and at least you can then have a look at it going together. It's quite an intriguing workhead. Swing the camera just a a little bit. And I'm just going to learn a little bit about these buggers now. It's got a one-way ratcheting mechanism. There's a slot in the head screw here that you turn 180 degrees and it can go in and engage in a plate. And there's some sort of hydraulic vane drive in there so that the drive to the face plate or the chuck is not rigid. Now obviously you don't want to have a crash and have the bloody thing blow up on you, but yeah, that to me is quite good. There's also a knob at the back that you screw in and the dog comes in and engages in it's like a slotted nut, and that prevents the centre from moving. So you can run it with live centre or dead centre. It's got 4 belts here, but there'll only be 2 going back. This thing's designed to turn bloody Queen Mary between centres. Yeah, all in all, it's really well made. It's made to last, and it has. You know, like it's 65, 70 years old now. So very advanced for its time, and I'm going to have a lot of pleasure using it. But that's enough yapping on from me. I don't know whether I'll finish up here or do another shot. All depends how easy it is setting up lights, etc. But big smiles in case you haven't noticed. See you later. Okay fellas, a bit of assembly time. I'll be darting backwards and forwards in front of the camera, but with these cramped quarters there's no choice in that. So next will come the sliding assembly that holds the intermediate shaft. There's a big give strip here to go in, a bolt to go through, and I'll try and point out there's a nut plate goes up under the bottom of this sliding assembly. I tried to get that in first. I hope the plate will go in now. I know it was a bugger, I think, to jigger it on the way out. Sorry if my shoulder and arms get in the way, but work has to be done. Yes, and I'm grunting and groaning. No, I've just got to undo the nut plate. Bring it back in a sec. Sorry about that. I don't have enough arms to get it all together on my own. There's a nut plate underneath this sliding assembly here for this operating screw, the tensioning screw to mount up to, and I just did not have that in the right place. And also you had to have the nut disengaged from the plate to get the assembly to slide in, and then bring the nut back up with the screw and mount it up. A little bit of mucking about, but we got it done. Then there's 3 socketed cap screws hold this gib strip in on the side. If I can find out where the hell the holes are. Maybe back a little bit. Yep. Back a little bit and out to the side. Just bang a little bit of that whingy bastard. That's it. Well, that's a good one. Down it goes. I'll be pumping all of this full of a lot of oil after I adjust the give strips. I don't think this was ever meant to come apart. It definitely wasn't meant to go back together easy. I've organised the light so it's good for you guys, but it's not much good for me. Almost there. My poor old good paint job. Getting shivered up everywhere. But that happens. Okay. Just leave them a little bit loose. I'll adjust the gibs and bring you up when the next plate goes in. Okay, there's a little bit of stick slip, but at least it's moving. And now I can put a bit of oil in there, because this will have to do it for a lifetime, I think. That particular gib works in two ways. It retains it and acts as a bearing surface. Yeah, that's dreadful. There's very, very little slop in there. Now just put the shaft retaining screws in and we're away. Just in time to scoot across to the house and get a bit of lunch. Myself will be champing at the bit and I'm on kitchen duties today. Simple machines, so easy to put together. Bullshit. Might be if you're a trained service tech, but if you're like me and you're doing it for the first time, when you get one bit in, you say hallelujah to that. No, that's not the right size spanner. Yep, and there we are. Belt tension as a go, Captain. Lovely. Well, bye for now, and I'll slip home for a feed. Back again, guys. No big secrets on this one. Just 4 cash screws to hold it on. I think even I can manage to do that. Except it looks like it might be full of crap. Oh no, that one started okay. Yep. Oh, way to go. That wasn't too hard. The other side's going to be a bit of a bugger to film. I'm going to have to try and get the tripod over behind the lathe, I think. I don't think I'll ever have to pull this side cover off with some luck. Bit of good luck. Just that little one goes on, and that's this side done. Oh, change glasses so I can see what I'm doing. This is just a poo seal. and definitely it's not where you want to drop a screw. Trying to find it would be a little bit of fun. I'm trying to find the right Allen key. Yeah, you've got your frame. Now, earlier on I mentioned that there was a blank that screws in around the chuck shaft to stop the threads getting mangled. That's it there. Now I'm hoping to adapt a brand new 3-jaw chuck to this machine. If it runs true enough, that'll be the interesting part. Okay, that's this, or this is it for this side. I've got the top plate to go in that the motor mounts to, or the adjuster for that top plate, and after that it's onto the other side. I'll bring you back when I get this other plate ready. Well guys, this brings today to a close. Somehow this silly old donkey's lost a bloody drive pulley out of the work in. It's probably sitting right in front of my effing nose and I can't see it, but no, I'll have another look tomorrow. I'm about to go back to the house and have a bit of a cry and a swim in the pool. I think I've had enough of searching this bloody place today, but yeah, up to shit. And it's not an easy one. It's a 3-step pulley with a bloody 6-tooth spline inside it. Only agricultural spline, nothing special. But yeah, it's going to be several man hours making that up. And I don't have a green groove turning tool. Have to make one of those. Okay, please like and subscribe. All there is for now. I'll bring you back when there's a bit more humour in this silly old farts workshop. Bye guys.